What did I do? You're not following our orders.
Why do I have to follow your orders? Nothing is this. But why?
I'm not going to ask you again.
You're opening my car door and removing me for what, a speeding ticket?
We all expect police officers to do the right thing, but what happens when corrupt cops get taken down during the act by everyday people who know their rights? In these stories, it's not the badge that wins, but the truth. Get ready to see what happens when citizens stand their ground and expose abuse of power right as it's happening.
Step on that side of the car. Step on this
Stand up here.
car until I can figure out who you are.
I'm not going to ID.
Okay, stand up here.
A real estate photographer was just doing his job in a neighborhood, taking pictures of properties that were going up for sale. But an elderly lady, feeling confused and scared, decided to call the police and report what she saw as suspicious behavior. Of course, the cops welcomed the call with open arms because to them it meant one thing: a chance to flex their authority.
Hey, do you want... It's 97, correct? That you work for? So I think it's 97, the end unit down there.
I think
Okay.
being illegally detained.
Will you go get the real estate
taking
agent's
photos in public.
information real fast?
Yeah. Yep.
Being illegally detained.
Now that you've heard what happened from the perspective of the man who was stopped by the police, it's time to look at what else the cops did wrong. And believe me, it's hard to say they did anything right in this situation. One of the cops even went to speak with the property owner who had hired the man to take pictures, and the owner was completely cooperative.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sorry to bug you. We're investigating this minor incident down the street here. There's somebody out taking photos.
Yeah, I talked to the other officer. But
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has my ID right now, so I was coming out.
Oh, perfect. Do you have the... Are you working through a realtor right now?
Yeah, you want the number?
Yeah, if you have the name and number, that would be great. We just want to make sure he's
Yes.
legitimate.
Yes. Out to you if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
801.
You know what realty company she's with?
Let's see if I got that. Yep.
Okay. So, to your knowledge, was he supposed to be here to take photos, or?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. And he was asked to take photos of the common area.
Any reasonable person would have dropped the case after the owner explained to the police that the man was legit and had every right to take photos of the property. They would have gone to the neighbor, who called and simply told her there was no reason to worry. But not these cops. They were just getting warmed up to escalate things, and you'll soon see this situation is nowhere near its peak.
Okay.
We left the house.
Illegally detained by partner over there.
All right. I don't know. I'm just jumping in the middle of this. So I don't know what all's going
If there
on.
was a
but
crime here to investigate, I would accept an investigative detention.
Sure.
But there is nothing to investigate. It's pretty
Okay.
plain and clear. It's photos.
Well, I'm going to go touch base with him, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Do it quickly because I'm wanting this detention to be over. It's not right. He's also trying to force me to ID and everything else. I want to keep my rights intact.
I understand.
I mean, you guys swore to defend.
All right,
citizens'
man.
rights.
I don't need you to educate me. I'm here to help out.
I'm just
Okay.
asking who's like.
Okay. Just let us do our
have
job.
another one here that's going to illegally detain.
Let us do our job, and we'll get you on your way. Just relax. Don't escalate this. Keep it simple. 14. Where you at?
The officer who spoke to the owner went back to Deputy Boots, the cop who started this whole mess. You'll notice that Deputy Boots showed zero interest in any explanations, and what's worse, he didn't have his body camera on. Why? Well, because as he claimed, he didn't like filming. Pretty strange considering it's part of his duty, isn't it?
Well, here's all the realtor info. That's the name of the realty company. My phone number.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go grab my phone.
Okay, cool.
Get my notepad.
Oh, thanks.
Somewhere.
I might.
No, you're good.
I'm sure I do if I didn't give it back.
When the cops returned to the police car, one of them ordered the man to stand in a certain spot. But the man knew he didn't have to follow any instructions or orders from the police because they had no authority over him as long as he hadn't broken the law. Of course, this annoyed the cops because when someone knows their rights, it becomes a lot harder to control them.
Step on that side of the car. I'm still being detained. Step on this
Stand up here.
car until I can figure out who you are.
I'm not going to ID.
Okay, stand up here. You're required to follow our instructions.
I'm not. Why am I
Sir?
detained?
Don't just stand up here. It's for our safety and for your safety.
I'll stand over here.
Okay, bring your hands behind your back for me.
What did I do?
Bring your hands behind your back. What did I do? Here, let's get out here.
What did I do?
You're not following our orders.
Why do I have to follow your orders? What?
Hey, let me put the camera up here so it doesn't get
Can
dropped.
somebody film this?
Hey, let me put your camera.
Here. I'm not going to resist. I'm not going to resist. But why? Do I have a lesson to learn or something?
There are no lessons to learn at our
We
age,
give you lawful
sir.
order and you're refusing to comply.
I told you I didn't want you
Why
sitting
am I-
on my car right up there when I'm sitting there trying to do a few things to figure out who you are.
What have I done? What law have I broken?
Possibly voyeurism. That's what we're trying to figure out.
What?
Can you believe this man was actually arrested for nothing? As if there weren't already enough cops on the scene, backup showed up too. Among them was Sergeant Jeremy Jocks. But if you think things would get better when someone in charge arrived, well, think again. From here on out, the situation only gets worse.
Do I have a lesson to learn or something?
There are no lessons to learn at our
We
age,
give you lawful
sir.
order and you're refusing to comply.
I told you I didn't want you
Why
sitting
am I-
on my car right up there when I'm sitting there trying to do a few things to figure out who you are.
What have I done? What law have I broken?
Possibly voyeurism. That's what we're trying to figure out.
What?
Yeah. What?
Real estate photography is what I'm doing.
Cool. Well, we got to figure that all out.
And it's what I've done for like 12 years.
Guess what? We get called to something. It's our job to investigate. That's it.
What crime?
Your
Are
rights
you
should not be
investigating?
detained.
Are your cameras, body
What
cameras?
did my sergeant just say?
What crime? Voyeurism?
Yes.
I think you heard us the first time.
And what did I voyeur?
Somebody's home.
This is something that's done all the time. You shoot the outside of the unit to put it up for sale.
When somebody calls us and says,
You had it explained by the owner that they're doing it for real estate.
huh?
The owner that I'm doing it for, they'd explain to you it's for real estate.
Well, the owner never invited you here.
Yeah, they did.
The owner,
97. So I'm shooting for.
why are they saying that?
Because somebody else is confused about why I'm taking photos. It's just a confusion on their end. It shouldn't be a reason that I'm in cuffs.
These cops weren't stupid. They knew their story didn't make much sense. That's why they had to come up with something else. So get ready, because you're about to hear the worst possible reason for an arrest ever. And to make it even sadder, these cops actually believe they had to come up with something solid, like it was enough to cover up their real intentions.
The reason you're in cuffs is not for following our orders for safety purposes. You made that choice.
I was
That's why you're in
on the
cuffs right
road.
now. We told you to stand in front of this car where we could see you. Period.
Why do I have to?
Hey,
why
don't
should
be a
I
dumbass. Just
detained?
follow the police fucking orders.
Broken the
It's
law.
simple.
This is
Follow
Nazi
orders.
Germany. I don't have to
Oh
follow
my God,
orders. if
you
I
have no
haven't
idea what you're
broken the
talking
law.
about.
If I haven't broken the law,
We're
you guys don't have to
investigating.
order me
Hey,
around.
it's simple.
I haven't broken the law.
We have a job to do.
But I
We get
haven't broken
dispatched.
the law.
Just shut your mouth and I'll explain to you.
But there's no reason to detain me if I haven't broken the law.
We get dispatched to
You
something.
have no reasonable or
Okay,
articulable suspicion.
there's no getting through to you.
to put me in cuffs.
Just keep
I'm going to make this into a lawsuit. I absolutely have to. But I haven't done anything.
That's your right. Do it. Do it. Enjoy the lawsuit that'll go nowhere.
So your name and badge number, Mr. Green.
Yep.
And what's your badge number? Is it part of the policy to give
You know what?
the public your? Like, why are we
Well,
not
we don't
going
care.
by?
Do yourself a
Why
favor
you
and
guys are not
exercise your
playing by
Fifth
the
Amendment
rules?
rights,
Let me
okay?
explain something to you, okay? You're in a tiny ass town. We don't have badge numbers.
I'm just
I
wondering.
have a call sign.
An employee ID number, anything.
Yeah, well, my number is 62.
The worst part was, when the man asked the cops for their names and badge numbers, they just ignored him. Now, if they had done everything by the book, they weren't afraid of consequences, why wouldn't they give their info? It's their duty, part of department policy, and simply part of the job. But honestly, could we expect anything different or really anything better from these cops?
Okay.
My employee, we don't have action.
I would like to know what law is broken.
That's what we're investigating. I mean, it's a law that's been prepared.
Public photography is protected under the First Amendment even.
And that's great. If everything checks out, then you'll be on your way. I don't know what happened to
Why am I being detained?
What you did to get
He
yourself
said
in the
stand.
Are you with a
Like I'm a
photography
dog.
company or what?
And I'm not. I haven't broken the law.
Do you
I
work
don't
for a
get
company,
ordered
yes or
around.
no?
I'm not answering questions. I'm in cuffs.
I'm trying to help you out here so we can get you on your way. So,
Me, you're telling me who I'm working for gets me out of cuffs?
okay.
This is ridiculous.
I don't think it's ridiculous.
The way you're behaving is ridiculous.
What's the investigation part?
Because somebody told us here
Okay.
that somebody's photographing their home that they, in the back of their home, that they didn't invite to their home.
And anybody can take pictures of anything that they can see in public.
I mean, you can't trespass on their property, though, either.
That was a common area that I was invited into. It's not trespassing. I haven't been trespassing. There's no reason why I wouldn't be able to be there. It's public at that point.
So let us
It's
do
not
our job.
restricted. I'm not
sir.
restricted by anything.
Let us do our job and investigate so we can find out. If you're not up to anything shady, you'll be on your way. You got nothing to worry
I
about,
think we
right?
just investigated it and you had it explained to you clearly.
But before you hear the rest of this pointless conversation where the cops did nothing but try to talk their way out of a mess they created, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had a run-in with police officers who acted like they were above the law? How did you handle it? Let us know in the comments, and we'll come back to this case.
This is all public. You're arresting me for being in public. Yeah. You can look at anything your eyes can see in public. That's not voyeurism.
When somebody calls us and tells us,
If I was
Camera
in their
pointing
window,
through somebody's window,
that's a whole different
that's
thing.
very likely
You wanna see the
voyeurism.
pictures? You want to see the pictures?
I'll let our investigating deputy look at the pictures if that's what he wants to do. I'm just here to assist him.
Like, then the investigation's over, isn't it? Because you're not voyeuring into somebody's
God.
window.
You don't want to quit, do you?
But I'm going to stand up for my rights. I'm in cuffs for no reason.
You're in cuffs for not following orders.
I don't have to
You did
follow
that to
orders
yourself.
when I'm being illegally detained.
You're not being illegally detained.
As much as the cops wanted to silence this man, he wasn't stupid. He still demanded an explanation. He wanted to know why he was in handcuffs in the first place. But every time he questioned their actions, the cops did what they do best. They shifted the blame onto him. Don't take my word for it. Listen for yourself.
Nope, you're good. Like it says, hey, do you have any other further information on him that I? Okay.
I don't have to follow orders when I'm being illegally detained.
you never were illegally detained.
Yeah, there's no investigation here.
There is
There's
an
no law
investigation.
broken.
Well,
You have to
when
have
we're-
a crime to investigate
No, we have to have reasonable, articulable facts.
of a crime.
Yeah,
Of a crime.
yeah.
And there is no crime.
There is a crime of what we got called to.
No, there isn't. You're just describing something that is like peeping in a Tom and peeping in a window on somebody. That is not
don't-
the call you got.
I don't
That
know
is
what
not
you're
the
doing
call
up
you
here.
got. You're trying to make this into a voyeurism, but it's not, and you know it's not.
I never said I'm investigating if it is or is not.
Then what are we doing? We're just
He's
standing
doing
here?
his job.
I mean,
Yeah.
he already has done his job. He has already talked to them. It has already been clarified.
Okay. Well, when he's done, and
She can clarify it for it again. She hired me to take real estate photos. They've got me over here in cuffs. I don't know, but I'm over here in cuffs. He might be over there in cuffs. Who knows?
Nope, you're good. Like it says, do you have any other further information on him?
The illegal arrest was followed by an illegal search. Of course, the cops didn't have the man's consent or a warrant, but it was clear they're just hoping to find something to justify their actions for the umpteenth time. These were the kinds of cops who act first and try to explain it later.
And now he's trying to screw me over with my client. That's another thing I'm going to be putting into a lawsuit. He's over there talking bad and everything. I've known them for years. They're going to let me know everything that was said.
Perfect. Then sue us.
I will.
Cool.
FOIA request will be going in first thing tomorrow.
Perfect.
Where's your guys' apartment? Where's your located?
48 West Jump
You got a
Street.
card? Now you want to stare me down? Try to intimidate me?
You're staring me down. You're the one that's sitting here
I'm not trying to
making
stare
eye
you
contact
down.
with me all creepily like.
What are you talking about? How creepily like? Can you describe it better?
Well, you're staring me down.
I'm not staring you down. You're staring me down. I looked over and you were just mad dogging me. Because you have a point proof. Just like you tried to hurt my arm when you put these cuffs on me. You did it on purpose, and there was no reason for it. You were using more force than necessary.
Stop pretending to be a victim here.
I'm not. I'm just saying the facts. You don't like the facts, I understand.
Your facts are bullshit. They're not facts.
No, they are facts. You were trying to be a little more aggressive than you needed to be for no reason. There was no resistance, no nothing.
There was no reason for you to not follow our orders, was there? Other than being an asshole.
Other than I'm a free man in America that I don't have to listen to what another man tells me to do unless I've broken the law.
Who's going to tell these cops that just because they say something doesn't mean it automatically becomes true? Watch how they reacted when the man reminded them that at the start of their careers, they took an oath to protect the constitutional rights of all citizens. Yet now, they act like those rights don't even exist. Deep down, they knew the man was right, but still, they just couldn't bring themselves to admit they were wrong.
The Constitution and the oath you take is to uphold and protect the rights of the citizens, not to abuse the rights of the citizens.
No rights are being abused.
Yeah, they are. I'm being illegally detained. No crime has been committed, and you know that. If you knew your job with the laws, you would know that public photography is not illegal, and voyeurism is peeking through somebody's window, which you know I wasn't doing.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure
You
out.
do know that.
I don't know that.
You do know that. They all know that. He's just taking the extra time to talk bad to my client, to make me look bad, like I've done something wrong, when I haven't.
What do you mean to your client?
He's talking to my agent that I work for.
And if the agent says everything's good, then
Hey, I'm in cuffs right now. Get a hold of Thomas if you can. Either attorney will work.
In the next few minutes, nothing else happened, just the cops standing around in silence. When the man asked if he could get back to work, they acted like they were in the middle of an investigation. Well, as far as I know, you need an actual crime to conduct an investigation, right? And that was exactly what was missing here.
I would like this illegal detention to end.
when he's finished with his investigation.
He's not investigating. He's over there bad-mouthing me to my agent. That's not an investigation.
No, it is an investigation.
He's over there obtaining my information without my permission. He doesn't have a reason to have my information. Fourth Amendment violation.
Okay.
He was trying to force my ID out of me. And I asked him over and over, am I being detained? And it was that point he wanted to detain me. I just wanted to know if I was being detained before I gave over my ID.
You were being detained.
Not at that point. Before you were here.
All right. Like I said, you can make...
Oh, I'm going to. A big deal out of this. YouTube, everything. I already got video on here, and I'm going to get your body cams.
Perfect.
So don't delete it, please.
I can't. That's impossible.
Good.
It's called evidence.
It's not impossible, and
Yeah, it is.
If the cop put this much effort into investigating real crimes, the world would be a much better place. So the next time you find yourself wondering where the cops are when you'd actually need them, remember this video. They're probably somewhere they're not needed, harassing someone who's done nothing wrong, while the real criminals are out there, walking free.
I just wanted to know if I was being detained before I gave over my ID.
You were being detained.
Not at that point. Before you were here.
All right. Like I said, you can make...
Oh, I'm going to. A big deal out of this. YouTube, everything. I already got video on here, and I'm going to get your body cams.
Perfect.
So don't delete it, please.
I can't. That's impossible.
Good.
It's called evidence.
It's not impossible, and
Yeah, it is.
I don't know your process. So
goes into the car and then it goes into the building.
Hold on, whatever.
Huh?
Wi-Fi?
I don't know. There's some antenna it hooks to and it just sucks everything in.
Cool.
And then it's locked.
And where's the best place to go for the FOIA? Is it to your office or to a county clerk's office or what?
To get the video?
It wasn't long before a completely different cop showed up at the scene, and at first he seemed to defend the man, offering a few kind words in his favor. But that didn't last long, because he quickly flipped the narrative. And of course he lied about everything he said. The sad part, it wasn't even necessary, since the other cops had already recorded what the woman had actually said.
She's sitting in her house, her blinds are open, and he's standing there with the tripod taking pictures inside her house.
Oh, no
she opened
shit.
up the door saying, "Can I help you? Why are you taking pictures of me?" He says, "I'm just doing my job." Takes a few more pictures. She says, "Well, your job is what, taking pictures of me?" He's like, "Am I trespassing? Am I breaking just like he's doing with us? Am I breaking the law? Am I doing this?"
But the cops realized that nothing was working, that no matter what they said, the man didn't back down and kept defending himself confidently. They had to come up with a new tactic. This one was so absurd, honestly it's hard to understand how it even crossed their minds. Trust me, when you hear it, you'll be just as confused, wondering where these cops got the inspiration for such ridiculous accusations.
Hey Josh, what's your date of birth?
You're legally required to identify yourself, by the way.
So I'm going to be arrested if I don't?
Talk to this deputy.
What is your date of birth? I'm trying to make this
I will
easy.
give it to you. If you tell me I'm going to be arrested, if I don't give it to you, I'll give it to you.
You want me to tell you you're being arrested?
If you're going to threaten me with arrest.
I'm not threatening you with anything.
What?
Right now, I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out the situation because your employer is saying at not any given time has she ever hired you to take direct pictures inside people's or their personal property.
I've never taken a picture inside.
That's not what
anyways.
these people are saying when her blinds are open. That's why I'm trying to figure this out so we can either get you out of here or you and I can sit down and have a more civil conversation about
So you want to
this.
force my information out?
Can you believe the cops actually claimed that the man had taken pictures of the woman inside her house? Of course, they had no proof. But when it suited their agenda, they had no problem with running with someone else's story as long as it helped support the narrative they were trying to push at that moment.
No, I want to talk to you. There's no forcing.
So
no.
my birthday let you know that whether or not I was looking through windows.
I'm telling you what they're telling us. I'm trying to figure this out, sir. I'm trying to be decent with you. You're the reason you're in handcuffs.
I'll help you out. That's a 14mm lens, which is very wide angle, which is very far away. So from that corner, you can't even see into a window.
Okay. What is your date of birth so I can make sure that we have everything correct so that we can try to get you out of here?
What crime am I being detained for? Just and then I'll give you my birthday.
Are you me? You want to go down this road?
I want to know. I just want to know.
I'm going to go get statements from them about...
Okay.
I just want to know what crime I'm being detained for.
I told you.
Voyeurism?
For investigation of voyeurism. I'm not accusing you of it.
But you would have to see if I was looking through windows. So you can look right at my camera right here.
As always, the man stayed calm even while in handcuffs. But in the eyes of the cops, everything revolved around them. No matter how much time passed, they kept talking in circles and still never explained what the actual problem was. And now think about this. More than an hour had gone by since the whole thing started. Kind of strange that the police had time to spend this long on something that never should have been a case in the first place, right?
I know you think they have, but they have not.
But if I'm being detained and there's no crime,
We don't know that yet.
taking photos in public is not a crime.
Hang on a second. You may, in your own head, know I didn't commit a crime, but we don't know that.
No.
We're the police. Our job is to investigate if a crime has
We know.
occurred or
We know.
not.
I don't know. I just...
So taking photos in public is illegal?
No.
Okay.
But if you're
Okay, so
taking
you're taking
photos
photos
inside
in
somebody's home, as they're alleging, that is highly illegal.
I wasn't taking photos inside.
But that's what we're investigating. That's why we don't
So
know.
I
Hang on.
have
That's why we don't know if there's a crime yet.
against me?
That's why we don't. It's our job to investigate. We can't just take your word for it. We don't know you. You don't know me. That's our job. We're cops. We investigate shit. Sometimes people allege a crime that didn't occur. Sometimes people allege a crime that did occur. It's our job to find out if it occurred or not.
One of the cops was so clueless, he was literally caught on camera getting taken down during the act. He actually admitted that people have to identify themselves whenever a cop asks, not because the law requires it, but because they have no choice. According to him, even if someone refuses, the cops will just arrest them and find out who they are through fingerprints anyway. If that's not tyranny at its finest, I don't know what is.
True fact finders. That is all we do.
So, and while we're doing that, you are required to identify yourself. It's a criminal violation not to. So if that's something you want to get stuck with, then that's on you. We'll find out who you are one way or another.
I'll be arrested if I don't identify myself because it's against the law, and you're saying that this is illegal detention and I have to. So I'll identify myself.
Okay, what's your name?
As long as you guys are saying that by law I have to.
You do.
In this
Yes, we said that multiple times to you.
And if I don't do it, I'll go to jail. Right?
There's a very high likelihood of that,
I
yes.
need a yes or no. We're just going by the book, dude.
We're not going.
I'll identify myself.
Okay, perfect. Then who are you?
Am I going to go to jail if I don't?
Identify yourself?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. My name's Joe.
This man made only one mistake. He gave in under pressure and waived his rights after being threatened with arrest. Honestly, I get it. He probably just wanted it to be over as soon as possible, because at the end of the day, he's not the one who should be treated like a criminal. If you were in his place, how would you react?
How do I spell your last name, Josh? Do you have a Utah driver's license on file? Or? See? It's easy.
That wasn't easy.
Oh, that's not going to be easy. And it's not over.
I don't know why you gotta make it so difficult, man.
I'm not making it difficult. I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what we have to figure out.
Taking photos in public, it's not voyeurism when you're just taking photos in public.
Okay.
I can take photos of anything my eyes
You're
can
right.
see.
You can come video me all through my office.
thing,
You don't
everything.
think I'm trained on
Yeah,
First
you know this.
Amendment audits and all that other
I'm
bullshit?
glad you are.
Yeah, I am. And when there's an allegation involving a home, you know that's different. You know damn well it is.
It's not when it's public. Anything you can see.
But when somebody's telling us otherwise,
You're looking through their windows?
that you're taking
You guys
pictures,
are making that up. Nobody said that. I was over there when he was investigating and talking to them.
Okay,
I got it
cool.
on camera. Nobody said
perfect.
that. You guys are making that up.
Whatever false narratives you want to create in your goofy head.
Go ahead and try to belittle me.
But if you thought this whole situation would end once the cops got what they wanted, you're wrong. It was clear that things were far from over because the cops wanted more. Maybe an ID would have been enough from the start, but after everything that happened, and after the way the man shattered their egos, they felt like they needed something else.
Did you?
Why are you trying to belittle me? What is that game for you? Is it part of the job or is it a personal thing to belittle me?
You sure know how to make your life difficult, don't you?
What, by speaking freely? Like that, you got a problem with
By
that?
speaking freely,
You got a
but
problem with
not having any idea what you're talking about.
No, you're over here trying to belittle me. Again, you just tried to say I didn't know what I'm talking about.
Because you
but
keep
I
trying to
do.
put words in our mouth and make drastic assumptions that are completely false.
You guys are
and
making
incoherent.
false assumptions about voyeurism and other stuff for a reason to be here.
Okay.
You guys must be bored.
Again, believe these false narratives you've created.
You
That's
are creating
fine.
false narratives. You're just like a Russian. I listen to those Russians lie all the time while they're doing exactly the same thing that they're accusing the other of doing.
Okay.
Yeah. You're over there making a false narrative, accusing me of making a false narrative. Right? Did it seem like it's me, not you? But it's you, actually, making a false narrative?
What kind of meds are you on, man? What kind of meds are you on?
I'm on reality, man. As I'm listening to you make a false narrative. To have me in handcuffs.
Okie doke.
I don't know about anything about qualified immunity either.
Ironically, the cops still hadn't taken the handcuffs off the poor man's wrists. Their excuse? That they were doing an investigation, whatever that means. Because if they had actually done a proper investigation, the man would have never ended up in handcuffs in the first place. Of course, it's obvious their idea of an investigation was just sticking to the story that suited them the best, the one that painted the man as a criminal.
It's 10-10, just expired, you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna go find out. Are you good for a sec?
Yeah. Should put him in one of our cars at the time.
Just stand with him.
Big time investigation. It's taking quite some time.
Which car is yours?
It's taking quite a while to investigate this.
Is your car up here?
Of course, in the cops' minds, part of the investigation also meant more threats to the man's civil rights. Now that they had his ID and personal information, that still wasn't enough. They wanted to know which car was his. And it just hit me. They probably wanted that so they could search him as a last-ditch effort to paint this man as a criminal.
What, do I have to answer that question?
It's a simple question.
How is this investigating? Like, does that help you with the voyeurism claim that you're making up?
It could.
I'm about to end this detention. It's illegal.
You mean the voyeurism claim that seems very legitimate up to this point?
Very legitimate?
Yeah.
Not even close.
So far.
Not even close.
That's what all criminals say.
Oh, now I'm a criminal. Yeah.
We're working on it. We're trying to find out.
You're trying to
find out.
Yeah.
You're doing that yourself.
No, I'm not. I haven't done anything wrong.
I don't know why you're so confrontational. If you're just cool with us, then we can wrap this up quickly and potentially get you on your way.
Hey, just stay on the line listening to this.
I've got it all recorded right here, so.
I'm in cuffs because I didn't stand where you wanted me to stand.
At one point, Sergeant Jeremy decided he couldn't be bothered to talk to the poor man any longer, so he placed him in back of a police car. Of course, he didn't leave him alone. He sent a few of his fellow cops to deal with him, while he stepped aside to have a conversation that would reveal a few more details about the case.
I can handle him anymore. I can handle him anymore.
No problem. Thank you. Where's he at?
He's in the backseat of my car. Just a delight.
So is it just something that you can't do?
When I pulled up.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy.
What's up?
Just coming to protect my daughter.
Best dad ever.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
He's like, what do I do? He said, call our deputies. They'll find out what's going on.
Can I go to?
Okay. Do you want to fill this out, or are you kind of satisfied where we're at? You tell me. Because if you fill this out, you know, we know what's going on now. And now we're just dealing with it.
Better to, like, legally fill it out? Or, I guess, in your opinion, is it going to be used? Or?
Well, probably not. And the reason probably not is because legally he is where he's supposed to be.
Okay.
Practice-wise, he just lost a job.
Okay.
Because that is not common practice, and you know this doing it, it's not common practice. But when you're telling a photographer, go to this area, take a picture of the road, take a picture of everything else, and he's hired to do a job, and these guys know he's here to do a job because they're the ones that hired him, and he's walking around doing his job.
At one point, one of the cops even admitted to the man he wasn't doing anything illegal, that everything he was doing was well within his rights. So then you have to ask, what exactly did he do wrong? Simple. He talked to them in the first place. If there's one thing cops like this can't stand, it's people who speak up, know their rights, and aren't afraid to use their voice.
Not good practice, but it is legal.
Okay.
Just not professional
not.
ethics.
Yeah.
No.
Be courteous to disclose what he's doing. As I expect my photographers to do. And
Yes.
myself.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, I'm glad you still came over.
Yeah, thank you. It really did make me super
It was
nervous.
shady when, she's like, Daddy's taking pictures right inside my unit. And I'm the owner, and he's saying the owner, told me
Authorized
to
it.
authorize it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
So where was he at? In the back?
Yeah, in the backyard.
In the back where that whole common area sits and how they're all fenced off on their patios.
Except for mine's not fenced.
Yeah.
It's not very private.
Yeah, it's not like these.
During this entire encounter, the man had over 20 interactions with different police officers. Each one tried to get something out of him, and of course take their turn grabbing a bit of authority for themselves. Now, finally, the time had come for this nightmare to hit its next stage. The cops were ready to take the man to jail.
Oh, I can't go on the property?
No, you gotta go. After all this stuff, you gotta go today.
So I'm being trespassed from public property?
No, I'm telling you, you're not going back and cause any more issues. So you can either get in your car and leave, or I'll take the ticket and we'll go to jail. I'm trying to make this easy for you. You just don't get it. You bought this yourself.
Appreciate the breaks you've been given and move on.
In the end, the man was released before they could even reach the jail. Most likely because the cops realized that actually booking him would have been too much. But he wasn't sent home empty-handed. No, they gave him a warning for trespassing in public. And if you thought these were the worst cops you've ever seen, just wait till you see our next case. Speaking of times when corrupt cops get taken down during the act, meet the policeman who was bored during his third shift and decided to stop the first person he came across. He didn't even think he needed a reason to stop them because, in this policeman's mind, he was above the law. He could say anything, behaved accordingly.
Step out of the car, sir?
For what?
Because I've asked you to.
No, I'm not. Not unless you were going to arrest me.
Okay.
I don't know what I did.
I just told you, sir, you were speeding.
I was
And
not
you're an unsafe
speeding. I
start.
never went over 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, you did, sir.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Where
I
you
never
headed to?
went over 25.
Where are you headed to?
What is that? I don't understand what any of that matters. If you're going to write me a ticket for speeding, then write me a ticket for speeding. We'll go to court.
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
But other than that, I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one more time to step out of the car.
Okay, I'll step out of the car.
Barry, that's a really good decision you just made. Put your cigarette out.
Well, you're on a power trip, huh?
No, there's no power trip, sir.
Absolutely.
I'm just doing what the law allows me to do.
What law are you referring to?
The Michigan law, sir.
What actually happened is that the policeman stopped this man for speeding, something that didn't even happen. The policeman acted as if everything he said automatically became true just because he wore a badge, but in reality, he had no evidence that speeding was involved. Let this be a reminder to all of you. Always have a dash cam in your car, just in case.
What Michigan law? Cite the statute that you're referring to.
Michigan law requires you to step out of the vehicle when asked by an officer. Do you understand that law?
No, apparently I don't, because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist?
No, what probable cause do you have for having me to get out of the car?
Because I asked you to.
You asked. Is it a lawful order?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
How?
What do you mean, how?
Yeah, I'm asking you how. Why?
What do you mean, how?
Yeah, what is your reasonable, articulable suspicion
Don't need one,
that
sir.
I've committed a
All
crime?
I can do is ask you to.
Right. I just asked you if you were asking me or telling me if it was a lawful order. You said that it was a lawful order, and now you're saying that you were asking me. Can you get a supervisor out here, please?
No.
I'd like to speak with a sergeant.
Okay. This is the deal here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to run your name.
Okay.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you a chance to think about you getting out of the car.
The man obviously knew his civil rights. However, he had no chance with this cop who was driven by a need for authority and power. Even when the man asked to speak with a supervisor, the officer ignored the request, even though it was his duty to respond. And when the officer's tactic of trying to scare him didn't work, he switched to a new one, threatening the man and trying to force him out.
I'm not.
No, you
Listen, who are you talking to? You're not intimidating me.
I'm not trying to intimidate
If you're going to write me a ticket,
then I'm going to ask you to get out of the car.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey.
And if you don't get out of the car, you are going to jail. Do you
For
understand?
what?
Do you understand?
For what?
Do you understand?
Deputy
Do
Lane,
you understand?
what have I done to create this hostile? I'm asking you to de-escalate.
Doesn't matter. Get out of the car.
Sir, I'm asking you what
Get out
I
of the car.
did.
Sir, I'm not going to ask you again.
You're opening my car door and removing me for what, a speeding ticket?
I am asking you to get out of the car.
And I told you I would get out.
Then get out.
I don't understand why you're being this way.
Being which way, sir?
You're being hostile. You're not
being hostile.
De-escalate, sir.
De-escalate. I'm not upset. What do I
Are
need
you
to
kidding
de-escalate?
me? You're threatening me.
No, it's not a threat.
Okay, listen.
Here's the deal.
All the man wanted to know was why the cop had actually stopped him in the first place. However, the cop took this as a direct challenge to his authority and wanted to punish the man simply for standing up for his civil rights. But the man had no intention of giving in or letting the cop act however he wanted.
Can I ask you something?
Not till I'm done talking.
First,
not till I'm done talking.
What is with your
not
power
till
trip?
I'm done talking. It's not a power trip.
It is.
Sir. It
Why
is
are
not.
you being authoritative over me? If you
Okay,
want to write me a
go ahead.
speeding
You
ticket, sir, go
just
ahead.
keep talking, okay? Keep talking and let me know when you're done.
I'm sorry.
You let me know when you're done. Keep your hands out of your pocket. You let me know when you're done, and then I will talk.
Okay, I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to interrupt anymore?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Michigan law requires you to get out of a police car when requested by a police officer.
Well, I wasn't in a police car.
I'm not done.
I wasn't in a
I'm
police-
not done talking.
You told me when
I said when I asked you to if you were going to be done talking so I could talk.
Sir, I was done
Go
talking.
ahead, you talk again.
I was done
Keep talking. Go ahead.
You just told me when you told me to get out of a police car. All I'm saying
It's required by law, and you're not in a police car.
That's what I just said.
You are not in a police car, sir.
However, it wasn't long before this cop got caught up in his own lies. But instead of backing down and leaving after realizing he couldn't even make up a law that worked in his favor, the cop decided to escalate the situation even more. As time goes on, this cop will act more and more under pressure, and you'll see that the situation is far from over.
You just told me I was in a police car. When you tell me to get out of...
When you
Sir, can you please help me out here?
No, nobody's going to help you out.
You said that
Go
when
ahead.
I'm
You
asked-
talk. Go ahead.
If you would stop, I would explain.
Oh, okay. I'm going to explain. You explain to me
You
what the law
just
is.
told me when I'm asked to get out of a police car that I'm to get out.
When you're asked to get
That's
out
not
of
what you said.
When you are asked to get out of your car by a police officer,
Is your body camera
you
on?
are required to
Okay.
by law. Do you understand that?
I do understand what you're saying.
Perfect.
I don't agree with it, but I understand.
It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not, sir. Has no effect on it.
Okay.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm glad you understand Michigan law. How much have you had to drink tonight?
Nothing.
Not a sip.
I don't drink at all.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Well, you're displaying behavior like you have been.
No, I'm not. I'm on my way to work.
Where do you work at?
It's none of your business.
All the cop had to do was apologize to the man who had done nothing wrong and let him go on his way, but when nothing else worked, the cop decided to accuse the man of driving drunk. Of course, he had no reason to make such a claim, but he was willing to do anything to turn the situation back in his favor because it was clear he was starting to lose.
Where are you coming from?
It's none of your business
So
either.
you're displaying behaviors
No,
like
it's
that.
not. Why? Because I'm not bowing down to your attitude and your power trip?
It's not a power trip, sir.
It's exactly what it is.
No, sir.
No, yeah, you don't have the right mentality for this job.
Oh, I don't.
No,
I've
you
been
don't.
doing
I
it.
know a lot of cops.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
Been
and
doing it
none
for
of them act like you.
31 years, and I don't have the right mentality.
Oh.
You know more than I do.
No,
that's
not
for
what
sure.
I'm claiming. I'm not claiming that
Yeah.
I know anything more than you. All
Well,
I'm
you
saying
seem
is
to.
You're being aggressive. It started
I'm
off-
being aggressive.
As soon as you
Do I look
started,
aggressive to you?
You start running your
Do I
siren.
look aggressive to you?
And then
Because
you
you
tell
weren't
me to turn my
stopping.
car. You didn't have your lights on. All you had on were white lights.
Oh, we had our lights on, sir.
You had white lights on.
We had lights on,
Okay.
sir.
They were just white. There was
You
no
seem
red,
to
no
know
blue.
everything tonight.
I'm going to request your dash cam, your body cams, all of it.
Request
It's fine.
everything, sir. It's all
I'm
open
going to go
to
right to Sierra.
It's all open
It's
to
fine.
follow. You're going to start throwing names out now?
No,
I know
I'm not
Sierra.
threatening anything,
I
nope.
know cops.
Nope.
Let me tell you, even if the man really was speeding, all the cop had to do was give him a ticket and the whole situation would have been over. The man didn't even need to identify himself or something like that, but that wasn't enough for the cop because just writing a ticket wouldn't feed his ego.
I'm just saying that none of them act like you. I've never had this experience with a cop ever. Never.
Wow.
It's fine, sir. If you'd like to give me a ticket, I'll accept the ticket. I'll take it to court.
Of course.
It's fine.
Yep, of course.
It's fine.
Of course you will.
We got about another freaking 11 minutes, though, and this is unlawful. I mean,
oh, now we're unlawful?
yeah.
Okay.
There's a reasonable expectation for a speeding ticket, time frame, and all that
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Just sitting here for no reason. If you
No,
want
I'm
to
not
write me a
sitting
ticket,
here
sir,
for
that's
no
fine.
reason. I'm letting you talk, sir.
I'm
You seem to
talking.
be.
I just
Well,
wanna
you
be
say
on my
that
way,
several
please.
times, and you just keep talking.
Okay.
You under any narcotics right now?
Nope.
Nothing at all?
No, I don't answer questions. I'm done answering questions.
Maybe the cop thought this would be an easy win, but as you can see, he didn't expect the man he stopped to know his rights and to stand up for him. The cop knew he was powerless at that moment, and he felt it. That's why he did what some cops do when they have no way out. He ran the man's license plate without any right to do so, just to find out everything he could about him.
You ever been arrested before?
Like I said, sir, I'm done answering questions.
Okay. Just stand right there for me.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, got it. Just outside the car, though. Corey Kowalski. Or Wisconsin.
Even though the cop had no right to run the man's plates, it's clear this was his way of trying to justify his actions, or worse, find anything that could give him an excuse to escalate the situation and arrest the man. And that, my people, is the most dangerous kind of cop, the one who will find any excuse to harass you, no matter what it takes.
$11.16.24. Can you see if you can get an updated insurance? It's $11.16.24. See if he has an updated one. Central. Can I get a file on one? Last of Kowalski, King, Ocean, William, Adam, Lincoln, Sam, King, Ida. First of Corey.
After about 10 minutes in the police car, the cop finally decided it was time to face the man who had done nothing wrong. He came back with a speeding ticket, something he should have done a long time ago. But of course, it had to be his choice, right? He's the one in charge, and he's the one who decides when and who gets to leave.
Obviously having some issues this morning. Mr. Kowalski, you're getting issued a violation this morning for a violation of the basic speed law. You can take care of it within 10 days at the County Court of Crawford. All the directions are on the back, the court address and phone number on the front. Do you have any questions?
Not for you, thanks.
Okay. Make sure you have your seatbelt on, okay, sir?
Thanks, don't.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what the worst part of all this was? Let's take a step back and look at the conversation between the man and the cop from a completely different angle. There's another cop on the scene. As you can see, he didn't do a thing. You ever notice how cops are always there for each other when it's time to cover up their bad behavior?
You didn't have your lights on. All you had on were white lights.
Oh, we had our lights on.
You had white lights on.
We had lights on.
Okay. They were just white. There was
You
no red,
seem to
no
know
blue.
everything tonight.
I'm going to request your dash cam, your body cams, all of it. So it's fine. I'm going to go right to Sierra. No, I'm not threatening.
Clear, we'll be here for a minute.
Nope. I'm just saying that none of them have like you. I've never had this experience with a cop ever. Never.
Wow.
It's fine, sir. If you'd like to give me a ticket, I'll accept the ticket. I'll take it to court.
Of course.
It's fine.
Of course.
It's fine.
Of course you will.
We got about another freaking 11 minutes, though, and this is unlawful. I mean...
Oh, now we're unlawful?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reasonable expectation for a speeding ticket, time frame, and all that stuff. Just sitting here for no reason. If you want to write me a ticket, sir, that's fine.
I'm letting you talk, sir.
Remember when that cop was sitting in his car illegally running the man's plates? Well, during that time, his colleague didn't just stand around, he decided to talk to that man. But the man made one mistake. He thought not all cops are the same. Maybe this one would be different.
Do you have a updated insurance card on you in your vehicle? This one's expired, sir.
I got it on my phone if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
I apologize. I did not want this to go this way at all. That guy, he's got an attitude problem. I don't know what the problem is. That's the Jeep. That's the other Charger.
$5/16/25 expiration. 2006 Dodge Charger.
Maybe to some of you, this cop seemed more approachable and kinder than his partner. He might have looked like he was listening, or like he actually wanted to help the man. But don't let that fool you, because soon this rookie cop would show his true colors. At the end of the day, he was just another corrupt cop who didn't care about doing what was right, only about doing what the tyrant cop told him to.
Is it okay? Can I just turn off my headlights so my battery doesn't die? It's not running anymore, and it's only 28 degrees.
Let me do that for you.
It's the toggle on the left. Thank you.
Yep.
You get a ticket up there?
Huh?
Here's your ticket.
It's right here, sir. The insurance? Yes, sir.
It says 2025 on it.
5/16/25.
Oh, yep. Thank you, sir. It was current. The only thing I thought was weird is that I checked the VIN because he showed me his insurance on his phone.
Do you still think this cop was one of the good ones? Because by now you've probably noticed he actually made the whole situation worse. It's like he was adding fuel to a fire that was already burning hot, right? Clearly he's looking for some kind of validation, a need to feel like he belonged.
And there's like a pink pouch that's jammed up in the dash right where the VIN number is. You can go ahead and have a seat in your vehicle. I know it's cold out here.
At the end of this encounter, the cops didn't succeed at anything they had planned. In fact, after the man got the footage from their body cameras, he posted the videos on social media, where the cops went viral and ended up looking like real clowns. Even though they tried to act like they had all the authority, all they really did was become an example of how police officers should never behave. Think that was bad? Wait until you see what's coming next. Some cops take things to a whole new level, and it's hard to believe until you see it with your own eyes. Don't miss the next video, because it only gets worse from here.